Human history is full of near misses, moments when civilization came terrifyingly close to collapse. Some were caused by nature, others by human error, and many by war. Here are 10 factual historical events that almost ended the world as we know it. Number 1. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351. The bubonic plague swept across Europe in the mid-14th century, wiping out as much as half the population in just a few years. Entire towns were depopulated, economies collapsed, and social order broke down. Had the plague spread even more widely, it could have destabilized human civilization permanently. Historians agree it is one of the closest times humanity came to genuine collapse. Number 2. The Great Famine, 1315 to 1317. A generation before the Black Death, relentless rains and crop failures triggered famine across Europe. Millions starved, diseases spread, and social unrest grew. Cannibalism was reported in some areas. Europe's population was so weakened that it set the stage for the devastating impact of the plague just decades later. A longer famine could have completely reshaped the course of Western history. Number 3. The Mongol invasions, 13th century. The Mongol Empire became the largest land empire in history, conquering cities with unmatched brutality. In the early 1200s, they wiped out entire populations, depopulated regions, and in some places destroyed irrigation systems so thoroughly that farmland turned to desert. If their campaigns in Europe had not been halted by the death of the Great Khan in 1241, it's possible all of Europe could have fallen, dramatically altering world civilization. Number 4. The Spanish flu pandemic, 1918 to 1919. While World War I was ending, an invisible killer spread globally. The Spanish flu infected nearly a third of the world's population and killed at least 50 million people, more than the war itself. It struck the young and healthy hardest, including soldiers and workers, shaking entire societies. Had the virus been even slightly more lethal, it could have ended modern civilization before the 20th century truly began. Number 5. The Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962. For 13 days in October 1962, the world held its breath as the United States and the Soviet Union stood on the edge of nuclear war. Soviet missiles in Cuba threatened U.S. cities, while American forces prepared for invasion. One wrong move, or one miscommunication, could have triggered nuclear Armageddon. Historians often call it the closest humanity has ever come to ending itself in an instant. Number 6. The 1983 Soviet nuclear false alarm. On September 26, 1983, Soviet satellites reported 5 incoming U.S. missiles. The officer on duty, Stanislav Petrov, was told to respond by launching a counterstrike, a move that could have started nuclear war. But Petrov judged the warning to be a false alarm and refused to act. He was right. It was a computer glitch. His decision may have saved hundreds of millions of lives and possibly the future of humanity. Number 7. The Toba supervolcano, around 74,000 years ago. Long before recorded history, the Toba volcano in Indonesia erupted in one of the largest explosions the Earth has ever seen. It ejected so much ash and gas into the atmosphere that global temperatures may have dropped for years. Some scientists believe it reduced the human population to as few as a few thousand survivors. If true, humanity came dangerously close to extinction in this prehistoric catastrophe. Number 8. The Chernobyl disaster, 1986. On April 26, 1986, reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear plant exploded. The meltdown spread radioactive material across Europe. What many don't realize is that if the disaster had continued to escalate, it could have triggered additional explosions that would have rendered huge parts of Europe uninhabitable for centuries. Quick action by firefighters and engineers likely prevented an even greater global catastrophe. Number 9. The Cold War Able Archer Scare, 1983. Later that same year, NATO ran a military exercise called Able Archer. The exercise simulated a nuclear release, but Soviet leaders believed it was real preparation for an attack. They put their forces on high alert and came dangerously close to launching a strike. Only after the exercise ended did the Soviets stand down. A simple misunderstanding almost triggered the end of the world. Number 10. The Tunguska Event, 1908. A massive explosion over Siberia flattened 800 square miles of forest. Most scientists believe it was a meteor that exploded in the atmosphere. Had it struck over a major city instead of remote wilderness, it could have killed millions and destabilized governments worldwide. The Tunguska event reminds us how vulnerable civilization is to cosmic accidents. Humanity has faced collapse many times, from disease and famine to nuclear standoffs and natural disasters. Each of these moments could have ended the story of civilization. Instead, they became warnings. If you found this fascinating, give this video a like, share it with someone who loves history, and tell us in the comments which of these events you think was the scariest close call. And remember, for more fact-checked history and weekly deep dives, subscribe to the History Captain newsletter. The link to sign up is in the description below.